Here comes the money. You're now listening to the Gambling with Gold podcast with Jason Gold. Presented by Champions Round.
What is going on? Welcome to Gambling with Gold, NFL Best Bets, Week 13. My name is Jason Gold. This is Joey Mauriello. Let's lock in our 5 best bets of the week. Joey, kick us off. What do you got?
All right, for my 5 best bets of the week, I'm going with the Miami Dolphins +4, obviously. I'm going to go with the Pittsburgh Steelers, even money. I'm going to take the Chicago Bears +3.5, the Washington Commanders -1, and the Baltimore Ravens -10.
Oh, boy. My number one pick on the board, the San Francisco 49ers -4, right in your face. Once again, we're going head-to-head on our best bets. Number 2 pick on the board, I'm going to go with the New York Giants +2.5, hosting the Washington Commanders. Number 3 pick, Tennessee Titans +4.5. Number 4 pick, the New York Jets at +3, and the Rams at +7.5, hosting the Seattle Seahawks as my 5th pick. All right, let's break this down a little bit more as to why we're betting what we're betting. Joey, why don't we talk about the San Francisco-Miami game, why I'm on -4 and why you're on +4. Please give me your explanation. I know it, but for the people out there, please explain why.
You know, I don't think you know it. I think you know it because I'm a Dolphins fan, but that's not the case this week. You have Mike McDaniel going against his former team. The Dolphins are the best offense in the league going against the best defense in the league, and I'm going to take the offense in that system in that battle with the confidence that Tua has, the way that they've been playing. It's been incredible. And I don't think the 49ers are going to be able to stop them, let alone get anything going on offense.
So the biggest issue that I have from your handicap, one, you're saying that Mike McDaniel knows Kyle Shanahan's system. Well, goes 2 ways, buddy. And who has, overall, let's look at the roster construction of both teams. Who has the better roster? I don't think it's particularly close. I think that San Francisco has a much more complete roster. You guys might have higher echelon player. I think that Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill may be better than any player that the San Francisco 49ers have. But the entire roster, San Francisco has a better roster. There's no doubt about that.
That's fair to say. And that's all defense too, because I mean, obviously the Dolphins defense is super banged up. There's injuries and they've been playing pretty horrible against pretty shitty teams. So it's something to worry about. I think this game is going to be very high scoring. I do. I just think the Fins are going to come out on top. And I think 4 points for that offense as a spread, the way that they've been playing, is really good. And keep in mind, Jason, I believe about 5 weeks ago, I made the statement that the Miami Dolphins are going to win their next 7 games. We are 2 games away from that being true. So need this one.
I love that. I think that I also said when we were talking about this, that San Francisco game you should circle because that's the one that's probably going to bite you. The biggest issue that you guys are going to have is that your offensive line is banged up. And you're going against Nick Bosa. Eric Armstead's back. He's healthy. This defense is the best unit in the league. There's a chance that Tua has absolutely no time to throw. And if Tua has a little bit of time to throw, we've shown this year, he's wildly accurate and can be a great quarterback. We don't know what he looks like against a really good, competent opponent on the road when there's pressure in his face. And on top of that, you guys have not had to really close any games this year. You had one against Baltimore, but it was a wild comeback. That's pretty much it. You've played dog shit for the last 2 months. It's interesting to see what it's going to be like versus a real team and a team that is battle-tested. I think it's going to go really poorly for you guys. I think the under 21 team total for Miami is a good bet. I don't think you guys are going to score more than 17 points in this game.
Oh, man. And you know what? I will give it to you, though. If Armstead doesn't play for the Dolphins, then that's a really big hit. We've seen when he left the game last week, it was bad. Tua got sacked 3 times in a row. So, I mean, that's something that I will consider, but doesn't matter. I'm still rolling with the +4. That's way too many points for an 8-3 team with all the momentum in the whole entire league. 100%. It doesn't change that factor of it. And that's not emotion. That's not fan. That's NFL analysis right there.
I love it. I think it's a completely fair bet, and I know a lot of smart, sharp people who are on Miami +4. I just do not agree with the handicap, which is fine. We disagree from time to time. All right, what's your number 2 bet on the board?
My number 2 bet is the Pittsburgh Steelers against Atlanta.
So that was a fairly easy cap. Why do you like it?
I like it because I think Pittsburgh is a very underrated team. I think people were very quick to call quits on Kenny Pickett, but I love Pittsburgh's defense. I mean, they have a great run defense. We know Atlanta, what they do is they run, whether it's the quarterback, whether it's Patterson. And I think they're going to shut that down. And other than that, Atlanta will not be able to get anything going. So I'm rolling with Pitt the whole entire time. I'm expecting a big game. Obviously, whoever's playing, I would go with George Pickens. But, yeah, I like Pitt.
That is one of the more interesting games on the board. So the number opened at some point. Pittsburgh minus 2.5. It's at +1, but when this opened, it was like picking +1, so not a big concern there. 57% of the bets and 82% of the money is on the Pittsburgh Steelers, so I do think this is a little bit of a sharp side there. My number 2 pick of the week was the New York Giants +2.5. I think this is a great spot for the Washington Commanders to get got here. Giants at home, elite running game. That is what goes against what Washington wants to do. This Taylor Heineke brilliance is going to come to an end at some point. This Giants defense plays much better at home. They're getting a little bit healthier. This is a classic day ball at home spot as a dog. I think they get it done. I think they win outright. And like I said on the last episode of Gambling with Gold with Steph on Wednesday, I think that I have an exact score on this game, 24-17 Giants.
I love the exact score, but I got to go with the other way. I have been a big Commanders fan. And another thing you got to realize about the Commanders is looking at it right now, they've covered the last 7 games. They are a wagon.
No, that's the time to fade. That's the time to fade.
But they've won 6 out of their last 7 games. They're hot. Heineke looks good, but I know. All right.
The NFL is always, if there's a trend where you think, okay, favorites, they're playing great, and the other team is playing poorly, fade it, dude.
I agree.
Fade the narrative.
I hate to say I 100% agree with you, but this one, especially after watching the Giants a couple weeks ago against the Lions, plus one of their receivers gets injured, one of their number ones, they looked so bad. And the Commanders are a wagon, so I'm going to go against the Vegas trap. I'm going to go with the Commanders. And I think you were on kind of the Giants hype, like non-hype train too.
Yeah, they were bad. But guess what? You got to buy into it now.
They're not making the playoffs. You know who is going to make a playoff push? The Washington Commanders.
Yeah,
we'll
that
see.
might be true.
All right. Well, yeah. Wow, we're really against each other this week. I like it.
My number 3 pick on the board was the Tennessee Titans +5.5. What do you think about that one?
I like it, and I really am rooting for the Eagles to lose. I need Mike McDaniel Coach of the Year. Sirianni they got to lose, especially as if you look at the close games that the Eagles have been in. They could easily not be. They could easily not have the record. They could easily not be 10-1. I should say.
Yeah,
they've lost close games. They've had dog fights with dog shit teams, and it's like, when is it going to come crashing down? We saw them lose to the Commanders the other week. This is the week. It's gotta. And Tennessee is a good team. I didn't think so at the beginning of the year, but they've proved that they can make things happen without a lot of weapons.
This one's pretty easy to me. I'm just fading the Eagles kind of blindly at this point. This was my first bet of the week was Tennessee +7. Glad that I got the number. I would still bet it down to +4.5, which I think most of the market is right now. Running team against the Philadelphia Eagles. They should have a ton of success on the ground, shortening the game. And Mike Vrabel over a dog coming off of a loss, absolutely smash spot. I got to do it every single time. Mike Vrabel, one of the best 5 coaches in the NFL for my money. What was your the last 2 picks? You're on mute. Joey, you're on mute.
Oh, my bad. I got the Ravens -10 against the Broncos. This is a good bounce back spot for the Ravens. They've looked horrible the past couple weeks. And I think Lamar Jackson is going to have his best game of the year and abuse Russ even more at home.
That number's up to 10?
Oh, when I saw it, it was Ravens -10.
That line is -9.5 right now. I have 8.5 written down.
Wow.
Yeah, sure. The Denver Broncos suck. So that's fine. I actually kind of like, just because of Baltimore's offense at this point, I'm a little scared to bet a number that big, but they could win 13-0 pretty easily. So I don't really have that big of an opinion on that one. My last two picks, I'll run through them quickly. The New York Jets +3 against the Minnesota Vikings. This is more of a fade on the Minnesota Vikings than anything else. I think Mike White will have some success in this game. I kind of like the under. This is more about this Jets defense is absolutely awesome, and I'm fading Kirk. I got to do it. The Minnesota Vikings still, if we look at it, yards per play for and against, they're negative, and they're 9-2. Their point differential for a 9-2 team is the historic lowest in NFL history. You just got to keep fading the Vikings at this point. It's going to regress. I'm going to lose a couple along the way, but I will pretty much be against the Vikings for the rest of the season. And they pretty much have the NFC North locked up at this point. There is no reason for them to go out there and lay it all on the line. Their schedule is very easy. They should probably coast to a 13-4 record. No need to go super hard in this game. Meanwhile, the Jets need this game to stay in the AFC playoff hunt. I think they're going to bring the noise in this one. I think they win outright in Minnesota. Last one on the board, Los Angeles Rams +7.5. I did it last week betting on Vegas. Okay. Seattle is coming back down to earth. I like Geno. I like a lot of parts of their defense. But at this point, I got to fade it. Everybody who in the world wants to bet on the Los Angeles Rams, Aaron Donald's out. Basically, their only good player left is going to be Jalen Ramsey in this game. Guess what? Perfect spot for me. This is what I love to do. If no one else is going to bet it, your boy will bet it. So give me the Rams +7.5.
Jason will. All right, for my number 5, this was a toss-up between two games, but I'm going to roll with you and go with the New York Jets +3 against the Vikings. This to me seems like one of those things where Vegas tries to set you up. Oh, Mike White, he's going to come down from reality? Absolutely not. I think he comes into this game swinging his ego and pride and absolutely shits on Minnesota in Minnesota too. We've said the whole year Kirk Cousins could either be absolutely atrocious or 1 p.m. primetime Kirk Cousins, but not this week. Give me the Jets +3. Staying alive. Coach Sal is an unbelievable coach, and he's not going to let this one slip away.